So okay, I guess I'm live. So in this video, Tucci, let me just describe it. So it's um, when the church was it was stolen, the St. Petersburg when the royal family was there in the far upper north of like Russia and all that stuff. And I'll go on about our upper north too. Um, that it was St. Petersburg, and once it's right there on the clawfoot, and you have like Sweden and Norway coming down. So upon the Tucci like German, because the eighth letter I think is the most like the German X, which like fatherland. There's nothing wrong with saying that motherland or fatherland because it is a dual covenant with the Abrahamic blessing with Sarah and the mother. So let's just talk about that for a minute. When Marxism came in and took out the church, basically took out the church, and replaced it with Leningrad, and then you have that coming down. I guess I can relate it to history in some ways. I mean, that's the ominous thing to me is like when I started reading all this stuff and understanding this stuff, I was like, whoa, what has been going on here. And right where the final solution is, to me, where it was for the European Jewry, where the Nazi Party decided that was Denmark and Sweden right there, and that's where universal health care was decided. It was such a great idea and stuff like that. So, it's just, or Stockholm's or wherever. I guess, I guess you could look at, I don't know, the banana man coming down or whatever. I don't know, but it's not a laughing matter because when I realized that, I realized that the Valley of the Dry Bones and all that stuff, and how ominous it was. So when I guess when they're trying, I guess it goes back to Ephesians when they're trying to replace it with a church with institution that is going to create the new man. I guess China's doing that and stuff like that, and other systems around the world instead of letting the church do its job. Because I mean, I'm looking forward to the Billy Graham crusade and stuff like that coming here. It's gonna be cool. I do look at him like I guess the Baptist head, the since his father died. It's also going to go on about the flawed blueprints, I guess is the best way to say it. I call it the Iron Curtain because you have the door, and I'm no interior designer, and that's what I was trying to say about Alaska is, they try to transplant that here, and the Congress, because people saw the Holocaust coming, they try to, create an immigration system for the European Jewry. To come here and stuff, and then that's what my agenda has been with the Christians, with Syrian Christians, stuff like that, because right there at the boundary of the Euphrates and where the covenant of Abraham, they were taken out, so that was ominous and stuff like that. But right where the skull meets and stuff like that, that's how I see it. It going on about the cradle of civilization. So let's go on about the Second Chronicles matters of the day, because that's like, I guess, a political warfare, monarch, and stuff like that. But that's where they eventually, that in that whole area is where they took out the royal family, state stable royal family that really could rule over Christian rule over chaos in the empire. So once Marxists or Leningrad came in, took out their own church, basically. I guess their church. I think like same thing happened in France, stuff like that. Once the church gave the crown, that the synod came and stuff like that. But it was ominous just for the fact that it was right there at the clawfoot where I see it at St. Petersburg. And then it got switched to Leningrad. So, and then Denmark and all that stuff, where the final solution was created, or um, you know, for the European Jewry and stuff like that. So, I mean, I would go on stuff about here, about the Grove and other stuff like that, but I won't get into that right now. But, okay, so the interior design of Second Chronicles is the curtain's right behind the doorway. You're not going to be able to open the door, so that's why I call it the Iron Curtain, to come in the holy place. And that's where, you know, the spirit and stuff like that, you know, so and it was cool to me, because it was like, when I was reading it too, and in First Kings, like, you had the cypress, there's a question, the cypress cedar that the cherubims were on and stuff like that, and then you had the veil, and then you had the most holies and stuff. And I'm reading the book of Hebrews, so it's really cool to kind of, you know, I guess, get into that and stuff like that. But and I think Solomon's house had a sundial. You know, he created the windows and the sundial things. So that's my thoughts on 2G. So I guess when institutions look for, or when the state looks for something else to replace the church, I guess that's the best thing to describe it. It could go all bad. So I know that they went searching for, like, you know, like the Germans searched for something else to create the new man instead of Ephesians and stuff like that, and the Bible and stuff, to create a new man, because that's where it's at, or the separation of Jew and Gentile, the outer court and stuff like that. I think it's the 8th letter of Hebrew. I think so. I don't know right now. I could look that up, but I know I got limited time. Where else was I gonna go? I know, like, Lamed. That's why I guess I've been going on about, you know, the freaking kid boot mark and stuff like that, and then the freaking as a man, I guess, or whatever. A triangle, you know. I mean, you can see it in the gains, stuff like that. That's where it became ominous, like in the Mexican mafia and stuff like that. They put the 3 dots. To me, I mean, I've kind of like walked, you know. I guess whatever has taught me in this world has made my eyes open up. Is that, you know, the numbers, stuff like that, you know, like, you know, I don't know what to say. To me, it came in, so I was out pounding T-posts, and I was like, oh Lord, you're here and there. Symmetrical designs of the heavens, you know, that everything has order, especially you. So that's my thoughts on it. I guess I'll let it be at that. I thought I'd weigh in real fast and kind of explain the clawfoot path. I guess the best way I explain it. So that's, you know, it's cool, I guess, in some ways. Hashem hand, or Corinthian hand, or you want to look at it. But also the rights of men, you know. And that's the whole thing, is that Christ is not on earth yet. That's a bad thing to have on the brim of the hat. Now, Christ visited earth. You know, his spirit is, you know, visited and stuff like that. That's a whole different thing. We're talking about, if we're talking about another thing, is Job. Land Rover and all that stuff. So, I don't know how to explain it. What else can I go on about? I really don't want to go about Taiwan or the plow or anything like that. I mean, the Gulf was, I guess I'd go on about the plow. The plow's cool. Cuba and freaking, as I see it, you know, the Big Dipper when it turns and stuff. And then you have Puerto Rico, which was cool. Scar, or freaking sheepdog and stuff like that. Or Jamaica, which was freaking unicorn whale for a while, like that. But I mean, Europe's is cool. I guess, and I go on about that because that was the Morocco and all that stuff, and that whole measurement from from Jerusalem out and stuff like that. And Saint Judas or Saint Jude is the only one that went east to Iran. So the rest went west. He's the one that took on Iran from Tel Aviv. If you look into the Book of the Martyrs and stuff like that, he got martyred at 65, I think, out there in Iran, trying to take the gospel out there. So that's what's weird about Iran and all, Tel Aviv and all that stuff. And his tool or his what's accredited to him is square and stuff. So he was a half brother of Christ, apocryphal verses. He did rebuke the devil over Moses' body, which Corpus Christi. I don't want to get too much because, like, I want to be like, oh, he's whacked. But it's cool. The moon is what the ancients left us. It looks like a dude on a square foot block. So, overturn, turn. I don't know. So, I don't know. Okay, so Lamed, that's where I came to understand, like, I guess, Lamed and all that stuff in 2012. I came back to the Lord in 2011. And Rededicated came out with life in 2011. And I went through a whole, transition and stuff like that. And, that's where I started, reading about, like, I hung on to, like, the unique period of 1 Kings 7:27. And it's cool, it's complete, or it's finished. That's a veil ripping right there. So when Hiram said that, it was like, when I read that, I totally connected to that Arabic, not Arabic, but biblical, I can't think of it. It's only in certain spots of the Bible. But, I don't know. Okay, so I was going to explain our upper north. Like, you have Alaska, and what I thought was Shikai salmon, right there at the snout. You Longhorn. And then in Jewish mythology, you have the hippo, which Canada. And that's all in, like, Juneau and all that stuff. That's where the Canadians came into the Normandy hand. And then you have Nova Scotia, which is New Scotland, which is kind of a cool seal, but it's like father, wife and his son, which was cool. But I don't know, that's, I don't look to that union, or that crown, I guess, the upper north crown anymore. It's the best way to put it. And that's where the HMS crashed and stuff like that. So it's an interesting parable there too. Which one, resolution deaths and all that stuff. So, but Lamed, it goes above the line, like, it goes above the line. So, just it's an interesting thing. It has to do with the cube and stuff like that. So, look at Mecca, that's what they're doing and stuff like that. What's interesting about Ishmael is that he gave up the ghost in the midst of his brothers. So Abraham loved him. I'll just let it be at that. Yeah.